Hello everyone. So through this video, we'll explain you what is drug repurposing and how does the software which we have developed can aid in drug repurposing. So drug repurposing is basically, so this is an article which I'm sharing. This is from 14 November 2019. So this explains what is drug repurposing, especially for pharmaceutical industry. This is basically the methodology to find new indications for existing drugs. Suppose you are a pharmaceutical company and you have a new patentable drug which is working in one disease indication. You want to find out whether it can work in other disease indications or not, and you don't have any other data on the drug except for the smiles or the structure of the drug. Right. So through this article, basically, this person has highlighted out some interesting examples of multi-indication drugs which are being repurposed for new indications. Right. So why is drug repurposing needed? Drug repurposing is basically mainly needed because if you look at the cost which are involved in bringing a drug to market, which is $2 billion, and the failure rate is about 90%, right? So and what if so if a company already has a drug, right? So they can use that for new indication. Basically what happens is, if you use an existing already approved drug, so researchers are then not required to repeat the early stages of drug development, because they have already demonstrated the safety of the drug, right? So these are so this article which I will share in the YouTube video also. This article basically summarizes various different companies which have repurposed the drugs, right? So this is the case study of Keytruda, which is basically which was originally approved for advanced melanoma in 2014, and 5 years later, it has now been approved as immunotherapy for a total of 14 cancer types, right? And now Merck is basically repurposing it for other indications also, oncology indications also. Right, so this is another case study of repurposing where they are using antibiotics for tumors, right? So this is the antibiotic clarithromycin, which is being studied to be effective against H. pylori associated cancers, right? So aspirin, we all know, is a painkiller. Now it is being tested for different drugs, including pancreatic and colorectal cancers, right? So this is a story of Atumab, which is an oncology drug, which is now being used for tested for multiple sclerosis, right? So, and there are many other repurposing studies. So now, basically, what happens is, if a pharmaceutical company has a molecule and they want to find out new indications for drugs, either they would do some experiments to test, which is costly, which will involve some cost. So in this scenario, our software comes in, where you can just use the software to get a preliminary idea of whether your drug molecule will work in cancers or not, right? So you just go drugdiscoverer.datadiscoverer.co.in, right? You go to click to search database, right? Select the biological phenotype you want to check the activity of your compound against. Let's suppose, so there are different cancers which you can test, for example, whether your molecule will work in melanoma cancers or not, or different cancer types, right? So there are lots of cancer types. So what we'll do is all phenotypes. So basically, your input molecule will test against all these phenotypes. You submit it, right? So here we have different options. So this will algorithm which will predict compounds against all phenotypes activity, right? So this will take some time to run, and you just input your smiles, right? Submit, right? Suppose you want to check for the aspirin, right? So you say aspirin smiles, canonical smiles, right? To copy paste it. So originally, for example, if you would have your own molecule files which is available, you can just submit it, right? You need a password. So This we will provide when you contact us. Submit. So this is done. So you will retrieve your output here only after approximately half an hour, right? So I just quick scan, and then I will show you the results of one particular study, right? So retrieve results. So password, submit. So basically, this is the result for a particular molecule, right? Which is, I think, this H. pylori drug antibiotic, right? So this clarithromycin smile, right? So as we can see, it is this is the IC50 values in micromolar. So it is not working in many cancers, but we can see the small bars, which shows that they might work in leukemia, for example, right? So basically, this is the end. You can then go back, right, and query against for other smiles. So in a sense, basically, you can, before you do an actual experiment, you can get a rough idea of whether your molecule is going to work in some cancers or not, right? So we have lots of cancers here, right? But you can then choose which cancer you want to focus on, right? So there are 75 cancer types, right? You can choose which cancer you want to first target, test it on based on these computational predictions, right? These are in short AI models. Each basically x-axis is an AI model which we have developed from thousands of studies. So they predict the IC50 values, which is the molecule concentration required for 50% of inhibitory concern, 50% of molecular killing, right? So in a sense, so using this software you can test all these your molecules for a very less cost. Thank you.